That is the politics of this country. To some extent, you might not get to understand it. Now listen. Moving on, more than 10,000 passengers were stranded as Kenya Airways pilots embarked on a strike on Saturday morning. Now, Roads and Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen maintained that the strike is illegal and accused the pilots of economic sabotage and trying to test the new administration, with Kenya Airways management led by Chief Executive Officer Alan Kilavuka and Chairman Michael Joseph saying the strike would irreparably damage the airline's prospects of climbing out of a deep debt by costing it 300 million Kenya shillings on a day. Cancelled and thousands of passengers stranded as pilots at Kenya Airways began a strike on Saturday, going against a court order sought by the government to have them call off the strike. The strike that started at 6 a.m. affected business and leisure travelers at the airport, with most of them stranded. The Kenya Airline Pilots Association, KALPA, say the carrier's management declined to listen to their proposals on how to resolve their grievances. In a statement released on Saturday morning, the union said, and I quote, "No KQ aircraft has departed Jomo Kenyatta International Airport flown by a KALPA member from 6 a.m. this morning. The strike is fully in force. KALPA members are exercising their right to withdraw their labor forthwith." End of quote. The Kenya Airways released a statement apologizing to the passengers affected, promising to rebook them and minimize inconveniences. It is a strike that was termed unlawful by the KQ management and one that is said will cost the airline. Kenya Airways CEO Alan Kilavuka has given striking pilots 24 hours to return to work or face disciplinary action, saying that the strike is affecting the airline financially. According to Kilavuka, the impact of the strike involving 400 pilots is 15 planes have been grounded, 10,000 passengers have been affected, 300 million shillings is expected to be lost for each day of the strike, 6,000 tons of cargo is also affected. Now, the pilots' union had said it will call a strike over a dispute of pension contributions and settlement of deferred pay for its members after a 14-day notice had passed without the airline's management addressing their grievances. KALPA issued a 14-day strike on October 19th, citing 4 reasons. 1, they want the board and executives ousted for undisclosed governance and leadership issues. 2, the airline's failure to implement pay agreement CBA. 3, alleged victimization of KALPA members and non-payment of monthly pension contributions for staff.
In defiance of the law, Kenya Airways has over the last 2 years had a chief pilot who is unqualified to hold the position as required by the KCA regulations. Despite KALPA's repeated queries, the accountable manager, Mr. Alan Kilavuka, did nothing to rectify the illegality.
Transport CS Kipchumba Murkomen had earlier held talks with the union, calling on them to suspend the strike following a court order. According to Murkomen, the pilots needed to put into consideration the investment the government is making to the airline. The pilots, however, dismissed Murkomen's allegations that the pilots are hell-bent on making sure they punish the Kenya Kwanza government, allegations that the aviators have refuted, insisting that theirs is an aim to fight for their rights. On Saturday afternoon, Kenya Aviation Workers Union rubbed salt to the injury by calling for strike by all workers under the union. The workers' strike notice was called by the Kenya Aviation Workers Union, which ordered its members from the Kenya Airports Authority to down their tools. The statement that was signed by KAU Secretary General Mos Ndiema reads, "Pursuant to the court order, this is to instruct and advise all union sub-employees of KAA to commence the strike today, November 5th, in compliance with the court order." He said the strike will only be called off once KAA satisfies all terms specified in their collective bargaining agreement CBA. KAU and Kenya Airports Authority have had a long-standing pay-related disagreement resulting in multiple disruptions in aviation operations in major airlines, including Kenya Airways. Brian Amuai, Look Up TV, Nairobi.